Hey guys, it's Sora here. Now, I'm doing a special video today. This video is going to be some gaming recommendations for autistic people. Now, what I mean by that is, these are games that will either, if you're autistic and you play video games, these will be games that can either help you calm down, can help you let out your creative side, and in some cases, you can even help relate to the characters in some way to form a special connection with them. Now, not all of these games I have physical copies of, but I will talk about the ones that I don't have physical copies of as we get to the platforms. So we're going to start with the Switch. We have Colors Live. This is a drawing game that comes with out of the box. It comes with this little... I should be prepared for this, shouldn't I? It comes with this little pen thing. This plugs into the headphone port of the Switch, and this you use, with this little nib on the end, you use this to draw on the pad. And you can draw anything you like. There is no limits to your creativity. So if you're autistic and you play video games and you have like a very creative side, that'll help. There's also a couple of other games that'll be coming up that will help you get your creative side. One that some people in the comments might question, but I'll explain. For calmingness and nice Zen color games, we have the Pikmin series. We have Pikmin 1+2, we have Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and we have Pikmin 4, my personal favorite of the series. Now, I would recommend these games purely because of the simple fact these games are very calming. I find this franchise to be very calming. Pikmin is one of my Zen, calm franchises, and I've just realized I'm not centered in the video. I would recommend these to anybody who's autistic that loves calming games. Plus, they're really good games too. Here's the questionable one. We have Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This one is here. And yes, I know the covers are backwards because I'm looking at the game mirror. I'm in the mirror. Now, I have this one. I've chosen this one because of the creativity aspect. You can create your own inventions. See right there. That is why I picked this one. I would only recommend this to autistic people who are actually hardcore gamers. This is not recommended for everybody who's autistic. Just hardcore autistic gamers who have a lot of creativity within them. For a calming game, we have Animal Crossing. Now, this could also be tied into creativity. A brilliant game that I would highly recommend to anybody who's autistic. It's very calming, and it helps you gain a sense of connection with the characters within it. Any villages that show up on your island that you have, you can form nice, strong bonds and friendships with. So if you're one of those autistic people who has difficulty connecting socially, this game will be a nice game to help you feel like you have social connections. For creativity, and creativity only, I will not recommend this for any other reason, Super Mario Maker 2. Now, this game I'm recommending in the creativity aspect because this game allows you to create your own levels. You can create your levels in the original Mario Brothers, in Super Mario Brothers 3, in Super Mario World, in New Super Mario Brothers U, and Super Mario 3D World, but only in 2D. Highly recommend this for anybody who's autistic that wants to get into game design. Highly recommend for that, plus it's a Mario game, and you can find some nice, simple and easy levels. And then when you feel like being challenged, you can basically challenge yourself even more. Highly recommend this game for those. We have some Xbox games here. Now, one of these Xbox games I should be talking about, it's PlayStation 5 sequel. First, for creativity and calmingness, we have Okami. Now, this game it has action elements in it, but you basically control the combat by drawing lines. So this game allows you to get creative with different shapes. And also the music and the visual style might be very calming to some autistic people with its nice, bright colours, but not sensory overload bright colours. So a nice color palette and a pretty great game too. For calming and to some extent creativity, we will have House Flipper. And I would also recommend its sequel, House Flipper 2, that I have on PlayStation 5, but I do not have a physical copy of that. You basically, you're interior designing, basically. You are cleaning houses, you're renovating them, you're painting and decorating them. You can also buy these houses and redecorate them in any style that you choose. So it lets you get creativity. And also, if you feel like stimming within a game, there's a demolition option. So there's also that. And I would recommend its superior sequel. But it's on current gen systems, just on the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X and S, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, and I believe it's also on the Nintendo Switch and the PC. It might also be on Game Pass, but don't hold me to that. We have PS4 games here. For calmingness and stimulating your senses when you go into a sensory overload, I would recommend Tetris Effect, or its Switch/PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series Enhanced Edition, Tetris Effect Connected. The music in this game is beautiful, the game design is pretty straightforward. It's a very zen, calming game. It does have some bright colours though, so keep that in mind. But nothing that should overwhelm your sensory overload too much. But yeah, I would highly recommend this one if you enjoy, if you want a game that's a nice calming zen game from calmness. Before I get on to some more games, there's one I want to mention that I would recommend these two specific games. One is on PlayStation 4, but also on PlayStation 3. I do have a physical version of this game, but I didn't bring it over into the video with me. So let me just pause the video and bring it over. I thought I had a physical version of this game, but I don't. The game I was going to recommend was a trilogy of games that are on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 that are called Journey, Flower, and Flow. Journey is where you're traveling through a desert. It's a very calming game. There's no combat or anything. Where you're on a journey through a desert. It's a very calming zen game, so it'll help you calm down and unwind. Flower is where you control a flower petal, breezing through the wind, going through different places. Very, very nice, very calming zen game with some very beautiful background music. Also in that trilogy is Flow, which is a game which basically you're a microbe. You're a water-based microbe that goes through a pathway basically underwater. It's very calming. And also, speaking of water, another game I want to mention, which is a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5 game, is Abzu. This is a game where you're basically swimming underwater with different creatures. Now, this has a very neat little feature where you can sit at different places and you can pray these places. And you can actually pause the game at these places and you can see these different fish swimming around. So if fish are a calming influence on you, or the water is a calming influence on you, and the ocean sounds, that's a high recommendation too. Now, this game is a game I would recommend essential for people who are autistic and want to be creative. But keep in mind, do not go down the rabbit hole of people's strange creations. I recommend Dreams. Now, this is a game where you basically can make your own games. Anything that you can dream in your head, you can create in this game. And don't be thinking, oh, I need to be a genius at game development to do this. No, the game will teach you. The game will teach you how to do all of this. So you don't need to worry about the game, struggling to build your game within it. I will be doing some episodes, some Let's Plays of this game on the channel, because I have found some games within it that I'd like to play and talk about. Also, they did an autism, they partnered with Autistica to do an autism awareness game jam. So there are quite a few games that you can find on it. that deal with autism and are good for autistic people to play, like a calming maze that's made by one of Dream's best creators. I would highly recommend this game. Also, if you're an autistic gamer and you're into different kind of characters, like say you want to make a Crash Bandicoot game or something, you can do it within Dreams. Anything that you can dream is possible. And also, if you have a PlayStation 4 or 5 and you have PlayStation Plus, this is on the service. So, yeah, that's another plus. Now, these next two I have to mention just simply because if you're autistic like myself, you might find a connection with these characters. I'm recommending Kingdom Hearts. Now, I only have Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2 over here. I have the whole series. I recommend this purely because Sora has a lot of autistic / neurodivergent traits. And his creator, Tetsuya Nomura, has actually pretty much hinted, he's confirmed pretty much in interviews that Sora is on the spectrum, that Sora is neurodivergent. You can try and headcanon it that he's not all you want, but he is. Plus, they're fantastic games, my favorite game series. So I would recommend these anyway. But yeah, they are brilliant, brilliant games. You might, if you play these and you fall in love with the stories and characters, you're going to find a deep, deep connection with this boy right here, who I'm going to be doing a video on in my Swords Hero series, which is being put on hold at the minute because it's going to require a lot of editing from my cousin Landon on that part. Another game I'd recommend for connection to characters is Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2. This is the physical copy of Psychonauts 2. The reason I'm recommending this game, even though in some of you it might trigger a sensory overload, I'm just warning you that now. It's a very bright, colorful game, so it might trigger sensory overload. Pretty much, Rasputin, the main character in this, he goes into different people's minds, basically, and it deals with a lot of serious social, a lot of serious illnesses and topics. But also, Rasputin has some autistic / neurodivergent traits. I might do a follow-up video to this. If this video does well, I will do a follow-up video talking about video game characters that are either autistic or have autistic traits. But yeah, I'd recommend this too. Just be warned, this one might cause a sensory overload in some of you. Another game for creativity, Little Big Planet 3. Now, there is also a Sackboy game on PlayStation 5 called Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which does not allow the creativity aspect. But I would still recommend because the controller has a lot of sensory things. In fact, I might do another video. I might make this a recurring series that I do occasionally about autism in gaming. Yeah, I will. This will be the first episode of that. So yeah, this is a new series. This is the first episode of that. Because I have a lot to talk about when it comes to the PlayStation 5's DualSense controller and why I feel like that is the perfect controller for someone who has a lot of sensory reliances, who's autistic to use. But yeah, Little Big Planet 3 allows you to create any level you want. This is the game that was made by the people that made Dreams. This was before that. It has an interesting story mode as well. You can create basically a lot of great levels and sometimes games within this too. Just keep in mind, the servers for this have been shut down, so you'll only be able to make your levels locally to share with people that you're friends with, but it's still recommended for that. Another game that I would recommend for calming and creativity, especially the creativity side of things. This game does not need any introduction. It's Minecraft. Now, the reason why I would recommend this game is you can build anything in Minecraft. I don't think I need to go into detail about why this game is perfect for people who are autistic in terms of creativity and in terms of just like the Zen music and things. This game is iconic. It's synonymous with creativity. Just leave it at that. And it's on basically everything. So, a PlayStation 5 game that I would recommend for people who are autistic. Now, this one's a difficult one. because it has difficult RPG elements to it, and it has quite of a cool mechanic that might be confusing to people. It's potion permit. This is an RPG game that's very calming, where you can make potions to cure people in the village's ailments, and each potion is done in the form of a puzzle piece like that. Now, I also would recommend games like Stardew Valley, but I can't personally recommend Stardew Valley because I got addicted to it. It can be addictive. But yeah. Now, the last game I have here physically, but it's not the last game I'm going to be talking about. We have Disney Dreamlight Valley. That everything that I said about Animal Crossing on the Switch applies here. If you love Disney, you'll love this. And I'm recommending this because it can be a calming game. It's a nice calming game for autistic people. And if you're an autistic Disney fan, you'll love this game. You will smile and laugh and giggle. Just seeing characters like Stitch, or Mickey, or Donald, or Buzz, or Woody, or any of the Disney characters that are in this game, referred to you by your name, really makes you feel like you're connected to them by playing this. So yeah, I'd recommend that too. Now, there are a few other games I will talk about, but I want to close this video out by saying that just because you're autistic, these are just games that I recommend to people who are autistic. I'm going to say this, just because you're autistic, don't ever feel the need to avoid certain games for whatever reason. Obviously, some games are going to be needed to be avoided for you because they might trigger things within you. I mean, there are a couple of games that I absolutely adore that I can't recommend because they might trigger something in other autistic people. Like, I absolutely adore the Crash and Spyro games, but I wouldn't recommend them to people who are autistic because they might trigger something within you in terms of like sensory things. Now, there are a couple of games I could recommend to people if they want to let out their anger or like stim within a game. I can do a follow-up video about those because there are quite a lot of games about those. Basically, any fighting game could apply for that, or any shooting game could apply for that. But these games that I showed here were just a few games, but I think would be perfect games for autistic people. Now, obviously, I'm not saying because you're autistic you should only play these kind of games, because obviously I'm autistic and I play all kinds of games, all kinds of generations and eras. What I am saying is these are the games that I recommend autistic people play for the reasons that I said. Obviously, not every autistic person is going to be a gamer. In fact, some people who are autistic can't play video games because it triggers them, automatically triggers their sensory overload, regardless of what they do. But obviously, some of them were little questionable choices. Like Tears of the Kingdom was a questionable choice, but that's got the creativity side. And obviously, Kingdom Hearts. Some people will question my inclusion of that, but the main character, has so many autistic traits, and he's my personal escape video game character. I have a personal connection with him through video games, so I would highly recommend that they try that. But yeah, this was just a special video to tide people over before my Sword series video can begin, because obviously, yeah. But I'm going to talk a little bit before I close this, because I can do this in the same video. It's straightforward. My personal experiences with video games, being autistic. Now, I have a special connection with video games because when I was first diagnosed with autism, video games were my escape. Okay? I had already had a lot of games at that point. Now, when I was diagnosed, I was the same age as Bradley Bridges. I was 9 years old. And I'd already played a lot of video games at that point, but my escape games were things like Kingdom Hearts and Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, which is why Crash and Spyro are games that I'm playing Let's Plays of on my channel. Now, obviously, those games were already quite old by the time, this happened. But I felt a deep connection with them because the characters within them resonated with me. And that's what I want to close this out by saying. If you're autistic and you play video games, there's going to be characters that you're going to resonate with. Like for me, I resonate with Sora from Kingdom Hearts. That's what I named my YouTube persona after. I resonate with Crash Bandicoot. I resonate with Spyro. I resonate with a couple of the characters. I resonate with platform characters a lot, actually. I resonate with Mega Man, so expect some Mega Man Let's Plays on the channel. One Mega Man game in particular I'm a master at, X4. I resonate and connect with some of the characters like Banjo. I resonate and connect with certain characters because there's certain... And I don't know if other autistic gamers feel the same way that I do. But when you're autistic and you play video games, or even when you watch movies and stuff, there's certain characters that you feel this instant connection with, and you feel they could be you. They could be you, but in a different scenario. But yeah, I want to know if any other autistic gamers feel that. You know, if any autistic gamers get that connection and feel that same way. But yeah, this was just a special video that I wanted to do, talk about that. I'll make some follow-on videos about this, scattered throughout, like, whenever. I'm going to do a follow-up one about autistic characters in video games that have autistic traits and characters in video games that are confirmed autistic. I will also be doing a video about specifically the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller and why I feel like if you're autistic and you like feeling sensories within you or on your body when you're playing video games, that is the perfect controller for you. Now, please keep in mind, when I make that video, I do not want to see Xbox fanboys attacking what I say in that video, because I'm making that video for specific reasons. I am making that video for the autistic gamers out there so they can understand and feel connected to everybody else. If you're going to hate on that, please don't. Please don't bring that to my channel on that video, because that's going to be a personal thing for me and autistic gamers. So yeah. But yeah, I'm saying the video here. I'm not going to do, like I said in my last Autism Diaries, I'm not going to do my regular outro for this video because it will feel tacky. So I'm going to say, obviously, like the video if you want to, subscribe if you want to, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do my outro be tacky. I just got out of the way there. Stay safe. This is the outro I do for my autism videos. Stay safe. Always be unique. And remember that you, yes, you, are special. This is Sora, signing out. I love you guys. Peace.